Welcome back to Pork Chops, Rice, and Peaches. I'm Noah.
And I'm Richard.
And it's the post Enies Lobby video.
Everybody's been waiting.
Yeah, 10 whole chapters for one video. And it'll be really funny to see where this ends up.
A couple of people commented, they're not separate arcs.
They're not, but there's a lot in these 10 chapters that we have to go over. It
would have been 4 hours.
It would have.
It would have. I don't know that I could have lasted that long.
I don't know if I could have. I don't know if our camera battery would have lasted that long. We kind of drained it last time.
Okay, so you'd think. It's not that I disbelieved everybody, but you'd think, you see the emotional roller coaster enough times that you stop reacting to it.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting in the Daytona airport yesterday with Mama Peaches, and we've got a little bit of time to kill before our flight is called. And I make reference to the boat scene. And your mom looks at me and says, the what? And I said, the boat scene. And I feel the tears just well up in my eyes, and I'm just like, suddenly my nose is filled with snot, and I can't breathe, and I'm like, you have got to be kidding me, And so we had to make sure that the bag was fully loaded, because with Kleenex, I can't even think of that scene without getting choked up, and it happened 3 times on the plane.
That's funny.
Flipping through the book, and I'm like, it was horrible.
That's hilarious.
It was horrible. Yes. I'm sure the other people on the plane didn't appreciate me blowing my nose that much, but it's like the boat.
You're not the first one. I think it was. There was another person who mentioned reading the same section of story on a plane.
Oh, gosh.
And bawling his eyes out.
Yeah, okay. Bowling alleys?
Yeah.
No more.
No more.
Airplanes?
No more.
Questionable.
I want to put that on a t-shirt. At least it wasn't in the bowling alley. It's got to be on one of them.
Oh my goodness. That was crazy. So here's the cool thing about this. I read it. All right. So last video, right after we turned off the camera, or maybe I said it at the end of the video.
You said it right at the end of the video.
I need a break. I went home and read 2 chapters, and then I got up the next morning and I read the rest of it. It's just like,
just page turning.
It is. It's one thing after another. It's absolutely fantastic. And then I got, I had to take about a week off, and then I went through the whole thing again, and then I ended up, while we were traveling this week, going through it again. And here's the really cool thing. Mama Peaches started reading.
Yeah.
I can't lean forward. I'm maybe bouncing the microphone off. Yeah. So, she started reading. That was really cool. She took the book. She took the reading light. And, I was watching Game of Thrones on my phone.
Awesome.
So,
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. So where are you going to start with this?
You know what? I'm going to start with what I do and just like our natural conversations. Just jump in with Ever. There's a couple of things that I want to save. We've got a special separate video planned that we will do soon, but I need to do just a little more research on it, and then you're not going to want to miss it. You really aren't. It's going to be fun. So I think I'll save When Did Zoro's Sword Break for that also.
Okay.
All right, because it's so really.
You kind of talked about that a little bit.
If you're a man, do it with a bang. Tom, love that comment. Absolutely love that comment. It's the first note that as I'm going through and I'm writing things down. I just noticed that, and it's just one I'm gonna chew on for a bit.
And I'll say it just so that. Because it's going to be in a comment somewhere. I think in some of the, a more direct translation is do it with a don, D-O-N.
Okay.
Which, if I'm not mistaken, is in reference to a drum beat. I think it's specifically supposed to be a taiko drum, which is a type of Japanese drumming, the ones where they have the big sticks and the big.
Okay.
I think that's so in the original and in the in some translations, I think it's supposed to be that, but I'm not sure.
But either works. It
Yeah,
gets the same concept across.
Yeah.
You know?
I think the dawn had the do it with a dawn has some subtext to it,
Probably.
which I can't get into. Based on later stuff.
Okay.
But I just wanted to let you know for when people want to talk about that in the comments.
Oh, gotcha. There's so
Love you all. There's so many essays in the comments that are so much fun to read. It really is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There are. I have been so busy. I returned to college. I'm taking classes, and so this is the first video where I have not been able to read and respond to every comment. And so I'm picking up catch as catch can, and I'm going to have to devote some early morning time when it's quiet to just read all of them. And
yeah, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, there are. I know. There's like 500 comments. Yeah, and we love them. We do. We love them.
We do.
I kind of feel guilty that I haven't gotten to them. And I'm reading stuff that I would rather not read, but my college professor says I have to. So one of the comments, it was great. One of the comments was, Dad, early on you said you had a huge reading list, right? Did you finish that list, or did One Piece rise to the top? And I just said, yeah, One Piece rose to the top. You know?
Yeah.
So now I'm being distracted by stuff, grades. Where is Frankie talking about the jewel tree?
I think this is still
That's
really
the fight. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
still the fight.
think I had started on the jewel tree. Is that what they say in this?
The jewel tree atom.
Jewel tree atom. Okay.
Yeah, it was weird. I'm not sure that I understood it, but I'm assuming we're going to visit that tree.
It's supposed to be an atom tree.
Atom tree? Maybe I'm just remembering it. Atom, A-T-O-M, or A-D-A?
A-D-A-M. An atom tree.
An atom tree? Yeah, I might just be... Oh, right. Oh, yeah, here it is. The jewel tree atom. Right here.
There are only a few trees like that in existence. That strongest tree in the world is the jewel tree atom.
Yeah, and so there's this whole thing of my dream is to use that jewel tree and build a ship of dreams. And I'm looking at his posture right there. Right, he does a lot of almost Seiza.
Yeah. Almost Seiza, almost Anza.
Yeah, and
he's kind of doing Anza here.
And I'm just wondering if there is I'm wondering if in the bowing, the hands down and the bowing of the head, and there's a couple scenes where the sisters are doing the same thing with him, and I'm just wondering, is there a cultural thing in that's going on in this conversation that the average Westerner isn't going to understand?
I wouldn't be surprised. I know bowing is like the sign of respect,
right.
Obviously. So,
and
I bet it's probably a little bit of like, I apologize, or I beg your forgiveness, whatever. And
well,
like bowing in that manner.
So it was really good for me to see that he acknowledged that he was building their boat with their own money, right?
Yeah.
Because that goes all the way back to the beginning, where I hit that like 90%.
You did.
I did.
You did. I explained why I did what I did in the last video. I'm not beating that horse.
No, it's not an issue of beating that horse. I realized it's not that I want to brag. It's not that I want to brag at all. No. It's just that I feel so much pressure because of my degree and because I taught and in my lit bit to get these things right.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like my education and my intellect is on the line, and I don't like being wrong.
Yeah.
And so when I swing and I miss, it's just like oh, you know. Oh. So, which yeah.
But you basically called it. You basically called it. So good job.
And then the idea of sailing on the ship that I made, and in fact I wrote that whole quote. He wants to sail on the ship that I made. I think it's Iceberg reminds him of that that's the critical thing that he's allowed to go. But the Frankie has to
He does start off saying, "I'm not going to."
Right.
Because he says, "Can you please sail on the ship I made?"
Right. But it comes up. It comes up later. It's a huge point.
Yeah,
and the whole concept of him he has to forgive himself and realize that he didn't cause Tom's death. And so this you know, I either put it in my notes or we talked about, I don't remember, this whole idea of I expected them to I expected them to get to Impel Down. I truly did.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen. I expected them to meet Tom in Impel Down. I actually expected them to be surprised that he was still alive and rescue him from Impel Down. And I really don't know how I feel about that it didn't happen. It's something I wanted. It wasn't something I was predicting. It was something that I wanted.
Oh, okay.
I liked Tom.
I think a lot of people like Tom.
Well, in a series where it's becoming very clear that very few people are truly...
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping Tom would come back. That's all. You know. So then, you know, we find out Goldie Rogers' ship, Oro Jackson... Is that the first time we've learned the name of his ship?
I think it's the first time. I think it is the first time that is right. Whitebeard's ship. Made of the same wood. Yep.
All right, that's huge.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
It's huge, and it's. I mean, like God, you would have to have half your brain missing that to catch the importance of that.
Okay. I mean, okay, let's draw another line between Roger and
Luffy. Right. Okay. So what happened to his ship? Do we find out? That's a big one.
Actually, I don't even know if we know it all in the current day.
What happened? Current day?
Yeah,
okay,
I don't know
that's one.
if we've ever found out.
And then so now, you know, we get, you know, the next point in here is we're reading through this, and I'm breezing through my notes on this, the introduction of Garp storming in.
Yes.
Okay, so now here's where you talked about this when we did the live action video, right? So the live action spoiled something that was coming around chapter 400-ish, wherever we are in the story, and it didn't destroy it for me. It didn't do any major damage, I guess. But it was fun to see it. It was fun to see everybody's reaction to it. It was, you know, it was fun. It was fun to see Luffy being so matter of fact.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was absolutely hysterical. Yeah, I threw you down a ravine, but I threw you down a ravine to make you stronger. Yeah, I threw you into a jungle at night to make you stronger. Yeah, I tied you to a balloon and watched you float away.
I did to make you stronger.
And
I also love what was it? Fist of Love.
Yes,
it hurts because it's a fist of love.
Yes. All phrases that would get you thrown in jail if you use them today, right? And Sanji's observation. I think I see the source of Luffy's endless endurance. That's a riot. That whole thing is just fun.
Oh, it's such a funny interaction.
So we get interwoven in all of this, especially with you know, Garp's visit, we get needed critical backstory that's going to advance the story, such as Shanks is the same level as Whitebeard.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when you look at early Shanks, you would never guess that. And clearly, that early Shanks was reloading to go back to the area where he's going to become a warlord and rule with an iron fist. He's in control of 1/4 of the...
Not a warlord, emperor.
Emperor, that's it. Not emperor. Warlord, you're right.
Yep.
No, emperor. I misspoke.
No, you're good.
No, but it's important because the 7 warlords are different.
They are.
7, yeah, right.
They are. That's why I mentioned
No. I'm glad you did, because right here I wrote... Government plus 7 warlords versus 4 emperors was the note that I wrote to myself. That's got to be a theme of conflict moving forward from this point. The government plus the 7 warlords versus the 4 emperors.
I don't know how deeply they go. I don't think it's this time where they go into it as much. But they do delve into how that dynamic
works. Well, okay, so that's not a note from there.
Yeah,
that's my idea.
Yeah,
that was my observation that this is the direction that it's going.
So they explain that dynamic.
Yes,
they will.
Yes. So we get the whole reveal that it's Mama Peaches. Hi, Mama Peaches.
Hello.
We get the whole reveal that Garp's whole purpose of visiting was to let Koby and Helmeppo visit their old friends.
He's like, I didn't come for you. I just came to let these two say hi. It's like, what a backhand from a grandfather.
Yes.
Like, I didn't come to see you. I just came because my two wards wanted to see you.
Yeah, but that's a vintage move by someone who wants to see his grandson but doesn't want to admit that he wants to see his grandson.
Exactly.
First thing I noticed, Kobe's nose changed.
Koby changed.
Well, no, he did. Very clearly he changed. But I mean, people grow up. I don't know that noses change quite that much. His nose seriously changed. Enough that I noticed.
Remember there was a short story we read a while ago, and it was a dude standing under a lamppost smoking like a cigar, and then his old friend from childhood comes up because they've arranged a meeting, and they're both like 40 years old now, and they walk and they talk, and they realize that the original dude is now a notorious gangster, and the dude walking with him isn't his friend, because his friend is a police officer and he sent one of his officer buddies in place to arrest him. Do you remember this at all?
I don't remember that.
So it was a short story about that, where the gangster is walking and the guy next to him, his old buddy, is like hat down, collar up, and then they finally get to a piece of bright light, and the gangster looks and says, "Wait, you aren't him. 20 years is a long time, but that doesn't change a butch nose to a Roman." And that's the line that popped into my head the minute you said that. The minute you said that.
Is that a story I assigned?
Yeah, it probably was closer to middle school rather than high school. But
my goodness, is that going back a long time? But I will tell you, you were such a voracious reader.
Yeah, it's like you read 16 years ago.
You read so much more than what we.
Yeah, I think we had a discussion about.
Wow.
It. Yeah, but I don't know. That line just popped into my head.
That's a great line.
It is a great line, but.
So the intro fight stops Zoro as he's running in.
Yeah.
Right. You see Kobe's kick on Luffy, which really well executed. Mm-hmm. But then it took me the third time going through this to fully appreciate the word shave in the middle of that fight.
Yeah.
And then how Luffy, who's just mastered defeating that in the preceding battle without looking, stops it.
Yes.
He's like, oh yeah, I got this. This most brutal move has become not child's play.
No.
But fairly easily recognizable and
he has enough experience with it, and there is still such a skill gap.
Yes.
That he can do it without hitting gear 2.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
But so that in and of itself is a monumental line to state that he can stop a Rob Lucci move without leaving gear 1, and of course the gear development in these right. That's amazing. We find out. Okay, apologies to everybody who's mad at me for spoiling this way back in Logtown. We officially find out that Monkey D. Dragon, the Revolutionary, is Luffy's father. And I love Luffy's response. I have a dad.
Yeah. That response is fantastic. And I think this is the point where I splashed the pictures you sent me from your dry erase board, where you're like, you put together like this whole family tree thing.
Okay.
Where you're like, what is it? You're like the meme of the dude who's just like freak. I think it's Always Sunny, and I don't know what it is, but he's like got the red string board, and he's like,
not quite that bad, but
what does it all mean?
My kitchen table has a dry erase shower board on it, and dry erase markers, and anybody who comes over is welcome to draw. And I sat down and I started trying to build the family tree. Now, I did accidentally spoil something. I think I might have mentioned this in the last video. I'm not certain. I accidentally spoiled something, and it was because I researched a question, but I didn't word it properly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you mentioned
and that
this.
is that Ace is not Luffy's blood brother.
Yeah.
Right.
But they go into it.
Later, but they don't go into it deeply here.
Yeah.
So I kind of accidentally spoiled that on myself. Apologies to everybody.
He also has a different last name, so.
Well, yeah, and so, but I'm putting these together, but then we start introducing all of these, we start learning all of these characters that have the D. Mm-hmm. So, now it's like, wait a minute, Sol D. Jaguar is not...
Jaguar D. Sol.
The Jaguar D. Sol.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's I understand. Correct me every time.
No, I'm just because I want to make sure we're getting which one's the last name type.
Well, yeah. So the first name is the last name, and then the D, and then the last name is the first name, right?
So Monkey D. Luffy.
Right.
Would be Luffy D. Monkey in English.
Right.
Like,
and as I deal with all that, but Sol can't be related unless it's through the obviously absent mother's line. All the D's, right? Okay, you see where I'm going? Mm-hmm. Okay, the D's can follow, but the last names are going to change. If they're related, it has to be through the mother's line. And the mother's lineage is conspicuously absent from all of this.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's important or not. I don't know if I had an argument with a college professor over this in Hamlet.
Yeah. And
he was seriously annoyed, and he shut the whole thing down simply because he didn't want to deal with the obvious truth of it. So it's conspicuously absent. I don't know if it's important.
Well, I think it's there's one thing you have to take into account. I think as well is that so we have Monkey D. Garp,
right?
Monkey D. Dragon, Monkey D. Luffy. It is you
very clearly
you're inheriting the name from your father,
right?
Essentially,
yes.
So there is that.
Yes.
So, but
But the D is the string that's that red string.
Yeah, that's
that ties
the red
it all
string
together,
that ties it all together.
Right?
Yep.
And so what I'm going to do is, because I'm not going to do it on dry erase, is I'm actually going to take the time to map this sucker out.
Yeah.
I have to. I'm just so curious about it. Right? It's great.
Yeah, you and Robin.
Guys got me. So the world's worst criminal.
Monkey D. Dragon.
Monkey D. Dragon.
The world's worst criminal.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, okay, I have to go back. I told you this on the phone, one of the few things we talked about on the phone. I have to go back to Logtown and find where Luffy runs into Dragon. And you explained it to me on the phone, and it was so stinking cool. But I was listening to your explanation, and I was thinking, I completely missed that. I didn't get that the first two times I read it. And never more than this reading and yesterday in the airport and on the planes as I was going through this for the third time, did I realize I made an observation in a video long ago that y'all, if you read this from the beginning, you got a book. Then you read it because you were excited, and then you had a week to wait for the next one. And so what do? You reread it, and you reread it, and you look at the artwork, and you reread it, and you consider everything. And I'm doing the equivalent of binging. And so it's like sometimes the third trip through where I'm just going, oh, wait a minute, this is so cool. And and
you're noticing all the little details of the artwork.
Yeah.
You're starting to...
And I started to ask, did Robin know this connection all along?
What connection?
That Luffy was connected to Dragon, because she's so well educated, and
Yeah.
she's been so well educated for so long. She knows so much, and you'll get a point where she'll like, oh yeah, I should have remembered that, or she's clearly a decade older than everybody.
Yeah.
Did she know and not make the connection? Did she know and keep her mouth shut?
The man who is leading them is Dragon. I think he is a man of mystery. No one knows anything about him yet. And then Garp says, oh, whoops, maybe I said a little more than I should have.
Right.
I think she knew of Dragon, but I don't know if at that point Dragon was... I don't know if to the wider world Dragon is known as Monkey D. Dragon.
Okay.
I think he's just known
but
as
Garp
Dragon.
would know.
Of course Garp would know.
Yeah.
Of course
Well,
Garp would know, yeah.
No, I wasn't asking it as a question.
Yeah,
I was making it as a statement.
But
Garp would
I love
know.
oh, whoops, maybe I said a little...
Yeah.
Now we see where Luffy gets it from.
Oh, okay. The two of them falling asleep in the middle of an article. The two of them with the snot bubble. All the amount of times that Garp is picking his nose. I mean, oh my goodness. I mean, it's all there.
It's all there.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, now we see where
he gets it from.
Where he gets it from.
Which means that if we see Luffy and Dragon, if we get the privilege or if we get the pleasure of seeing Luffy, Dragon, and Garp all together, that could be hysterical.
That could be hysterical.
If they all have the same characteristics, yeah.
Yeah.
It could.
That could be hysterical.
It could be a lot of fun.
That could be hysterical.
The reveal that Garp won't capture his grandson speaks volumes, but it adds to the long running conversation that we're having about Marines each having their individual sense of justice.
Yeah.
Right. And it was the dude in the fedora in the background going like, are you sure you want to say that? Which of course he was correct because they have to come back.
Yeah.
Right.
That guy's name is Bogard, by the way. Fun fact, I'm going to throw that out there.
Bogard?
I believe so.
Yeah, well, the reference is painfully obvious, and...
I honestly don't know what that reference is. What is the reference?
Bogart. From
Bogart.
Casablanca. The hat, the trench coat,
that makes sense now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yep. A great movie.
I've seen it.
Yeah,
I've seen it. I've completely forgotten most of it. Is that where they say we'll always have Paris?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll always have Paris.
I remember one thing about it.
But the great lines. Corruption! We will stand for corruption! Here's your cut. Thank you very much. Go round up the usual suspects. All that.
That's funny.
Great. Oh, the captain of police is fantastic.
That's funny.
That might be the best role of the movie.
Yeah.
Honestly, that would be the one I would want to play. So we start to get the passage of time here. I mean, this is a first noticeable. We see Koby age, and we get a sense of the passage of time. And I think that
it's only been like a few weeks. I'll be real honest with you.
It just can't be. I mean, that's not realistic.
The timetable adds up that it's not maybe not. It's like a few months or something like that.
And to the point that that Luffy forgot who he was, and Koby.
Koby looks very different, and it's exaggeration.
I
don't think you're supposed to buy into. I don't pay attention to the timeline that seriously about how long it's taken, but when you actually read into it, it's supposed to. I'm just like, whatever. I don't care. This is also a planet where Alabasta is the size of Australia.
Yeah, I get
and that's one of millions.
I get it.
So I'm just like that's where I just like I am choosing hardcore to suspend my disbelief. I am by ignoring that shouldn't be possible.
It's a consume the content moment.
It is.
It is. Switch off the brain and just roll with it.
It is cool. It is cool.
Okay.
Then to show how hard he's working.
The Navy going through the calm belt with sea prism stones on the hull. That was really cool.
Isn't that really cool?
I like that. Nami's wiretapping the whole thing.
Yep.
I like it. That was kind of fun. can't you see I'm wiretapping? That was great.
Yep.
We learned, are we going to see more? I can't ask this question.
What?
No, I'm not asking the question. I will say, I hope we see Dr. Vegapunk, the #1 tech scientist who discovered the devil fruits confer powers in the tech to give devil fruit powers to inanimate objects.
Is that mentioned here?
It's mentioned. Oh, I wrote it down. I didn't read ahead.
I didn't know that was mentioned.
That is mentioned there. It's a Koby reveal. It's really kind of interesting. The name Dr. Vegapunk is kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's a character that I want to see more of.
Okay.
That's all.
All right.
That's where we're at. Okay. And then the New Worlds, the other half of the Red Line, the second half of the Grand Line. I mean, these are... You can't... You were right a long time ago. You said Water 7 is the build-up, Enies Lobby is the fight, Post-Water 7 is the big reveal type stuff. I get it.
Yep.
It's all there. There is so much of it. And the idea, the one who can master the oceans will become the king of the pirates. And here is the crew just absorbing all of this information because...
Oh, yeah, a lot of them are going, write that down.
Nami
is. She's like, write
sitting
that down.
there
Write that down.
with the feather pen, taking notes. And so the big question comes, when does that pay off in the future? When does the Thousand Sunny, is that the name?
That's the new ship.
Somebody in the comments criticized me for getting the Going Merry or the Merry Go wrong. I'm like, oh God, people.
In the English, they call it the Merry Go.
Merry Go.
In this original. It's the same reason they call Zoro Zolo.
Right.
Which...
And it was just like, so the Thousand Sunny, when does it get a sea prism stone on the bottom of it? Or will having a sea prism stone on the bottom of the boat affect the sailors who have eaten it?
That's a good question. I don't think it would, but that's a good question.
Well, I just thought of it.
It would affect the boat if you... Okay, now I want to know what would happen if a ship ate a devil fruit.
Oh!
I want to see that now.
That would be so cool.
I want to see that now.
If you can put an elephant into a sword.
Yeah.
Can you?
I wanna. But then you're on the ocean. It would be the most useless ship ever.
That's right.
Because it would be
sink?
on the. It would
Would
sink.
Would it sink? Would it sink?
Yeah. That's funny though.
Okay.
That's funny though.
I hope we're not the first people who ever thought of that.
That's funny though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Would it sink? Okay. You know what that is? Oh, we got to write that into the corner questions.
It's a ship that can only work on land.
There's
a pirate crew out there somewhere on a ship that has eaten a devil fruit, but they're land pirates.
We're the dry dock pirates. Anybody who comes near dry dock is in trouble.
That's funny.
No.
They're stuck on one island. They need a bigger ship to transport their ship.
A ship inside of a ship. Well, that would work. That would do it. That's the answer to the question.
That's the answer.
A ship inside of a ship.
That's funny.
Okay.
All right. Sidebar over.
But we digress.
Back to Post.
So Koby wants to be an admiral, and Luffy vows to be stronger, and Luffy continues what he started way in the beginning, which is encouraging Koby, to pursue his dreams, knowing what it's going to mean.
Yep.
I'm waiting to see, and this relates to this very question, I'm waiting to see if the Straw Hat Pirates ever become slightly more traditional rape, pillage, and plunder pirates. And my expectation is no, and my guess is that they're always going to be slightly on the poor side for pirates, If being wealthy pirates is predicated on stealing because they don't seem to be interested in, beyond Nami, they don't appear to be interested in the acquisition of money.
Aside from Skypiea.
Right.
Because Luffy totally woke...
Right. Yeah. But you got to admit, that moment was like atypical for everything. Yeah. And that moment probably... That was a long-term setup for the payoff we just got with the boat being built.
Yeah.
Okay. That was planned. That wasn't accidental.
Yeah. It was.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
You're 100% right.
Robin's more interested in the acquisition of knowledge than she is in the acquisition of money.
Yeah.
So I keep wondering if the rest of the world and the world government is ever going to realize that these pirates are different and maybe they shouldn't be destroyed. That's my question.
Well, there's already countries, Alabasta, Drum Island.
Right.
Drum Island Kingdom.
Who would speak to that.
Right. And are like, no. And honestly, that's where a lot of the Straw Hats inherent any sort of wealth comes from. Is like, oh yeah, you helped us. Here's all the food you could want. Here's some money for supplies. Here's supplies. Here's all that. So they almost don't need.
But Vivi is not strong enough as the future leader of Alabasta to go stand up against the world government and
Alabasta, from a position of political power, no.
Right.
Yeah, but there's not enough leverage from a single kingdom. You're correct.
No, there's not. But there's also not enough leverage from that single person.
Yeah.
Right. So, but these are the things that I think about while I read this stuff. I don't know about anybody else. And then, Luffy vows to get stronger. So, now I wrote here, I know the answer to this question, but I'm like, if it was the first time reading this, it would be like stronger than level 3? Exactly what are you going to become? And then a little note down here about Luffy. And he kind of reminds me in the whole thing of just going your own way.
Have Qui-Gon?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. It just popped into my head as I was reading.
Okay.
And then Luffy just his total faith in Koby. If Koby says he can do it, he can do it. Dude, you're gonna have to destroy your friend.
You're gonna have to fight him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the big question is, do they ever get to that point?
How much do they
kind of have to?
How much do they talk about Garp's history in this section? So I was able to read bits and pieces of this as we went.
Right.
I had a very busy day today, much busier than I thought, so I didn't get as far as I wanted to. How much do they go into Garp's backstory?
Not a lot.
Not a lot. So they don't talk about his reputation that much when he shows up.
They do. They Garp the Fist.
Garp the Fist.
Garp the guy who battled Roger and who ultimately brought Roger in. But they really don't go into. There's no flashback. There's no.
No, not a. There, I was more of his reputation. The hero of the Navy. Yeah. Garp the Fist, Vice Admiral.
Yep.
Garp, that's the name of the hero of the Navy.
Everybody's clearly afraid of him.
Yeah.
Everybody's clearly.
I trained you to become strong Navy man.
Yes. I told you I always wanted to be a pirate.
Did say. Did you notice that right there as well?
Yes. Yes. I did.
Entrusted you and Ace to a friend of mine for training. The moment I took my eyes off you, look what happens. I trained you to become strong Navy men. I always told you that I wanted to be yeah.
So, it just... There's too much unknown stuff, right? Shanks never says, I trained him. And he was so young before Shanks took off. That can't refer to Shanks. I suppose it could, but I would be very surprised if it did. So the question is, who is his friend that he entrusted him to? And I don't remember that being a reveal.
That was not, I don't believe that was revealed here.
Now, that's a question that will probably get answered eventually.
Eventually it does get answered,
Yeah. Interesting question. But that was one of those ones that I read it, and no matter how many times I read it and I passed by it, I thought to myself, you know what? It's not ultimately that important right now to really, think about it. Mm-hmm. And Frankie, I wouldn't be a real man if I turned down a party. I like Frankie.
Frankie's fun. I love Frankie.
Frankie needs a Harley. He really does. He needs a Harley with rockets on it that drives on water. What? Does Frankie get a Harley?
He gets a motorcycle. And that's all I'll say about it. Because ultimately it's not that big a thing, but he does get a motorcycle. I'll give you that one.
I called it.
You called it. All right. It'll be a while, but
it's okay. That's okay. It'll be fun. You know what? I'll probably forget about it, and then when I see it, I'll remember this conversation.
You will.
Oh, I got that one. And I'll be celebrating it like it's a new thought, because I forget so much. Now, I'm really, really, truly interested in this Aokiji, Saul, Robin relationship. And, I shared with everybody that I momentarily wondered if Aokiji was Robin's father.
Yeah.
But now we find out Aokiji is a close friend of Jaguar D. Saul. Mm-hmm. You can't see the D and not realize there's something going on here.
Yeah.
That Saul gave his life to save Robin's. So Aokiji follows Robin to make sure that she doesn't waste her life. Right? Mm-hmm. In honor of Saul, there's apparently some trust. If Saul saw value in this, then there's enough value that I need to continue what he's doing. So finding out the backstory of Aokiji and Saul would be wonderful. Don't know if we do. I think it's important. I think it would help explain why he's handling this whole situation as well as he is. I'm not asking if we get the backstory because I know better. And so I will just say that I would, as a reader, love to find that backstory. Really would be cool. I've got a couple of friends who are close enough that if they said, this is really important to me, I need to see it done, that I would see it through to the end for them if they couldn't. But there's like one or two. Those are big, big asks. So there's something that went on there. Aokiji thought Enies Lobby would end O'Hara and take her life. And then
I had intended that Enies Lobby would end the story of O'Hara once and for all. Of course, I never expected that your friends would beat CP9.
Right.
Have you finally found a place where you can feel safe?
Yes, and she says yes. Mm-hmm. Now the big so was Saul right or wrong? Robin's life is going to answer that, right? And then Aokiji says, then live out your life and prove to me that O'Hara is still alive. That's huge. That is monumentally huge. It can't be overstated how important that is and how big that is, that he is hoping that O'Hara is still alive. So this has got to come down to the void and the backstory for it. Mm-hmm. And I'm so looking forward to reading that. I don't know when it's coming. I don't know how many chapters, before we arrive at that point. But, oh my goodness, is that going to be interesting. And I'm glad I'm not borrowing these books from the library. Yeah. I'm glad I'm building my own library of them so that I can be going back. I don't know. Do you have anything to add on that?
No, not really. It's it's kind of the bookend. You know, that it started at the end of Long Ring when he shows up. This is kind of the bookend. Although I love that he gets on his bike and pedal.
Yes. Pedal, munch.
Yep.
He's eating. This, and splash this one, please, because this one is hysterical. The difference between Luffy at 17 and partying, and Robin, who thought for a moment she was going to lose her life and realized she just got the world's biggest reprieve from their biggest enemy. Or what she thought was their biggest enemy.
What she thought would be,
Yeah. So she
and she says maybe I should try that too.
Yeah. Like how do you like, this is like you're at the party and you decide to go play with the kids at the kids' table. That's really what that is.
Luckily for her, Frankie's roughly her age. Around the same.
Okay.
I think he's a little older than her, but
the Frankie-Robin relationship is going to be very interesting to see as it moves forward. And I'm not talking about like romantic relationship. I'm talking about crewmate, shipmate. They just went through a huge ordeal.
Oh, yeah.
And he spent a lot of time in an ordeal looking at her going, hello, look what they're doing.
I see this. I don't know who you people are.
Yeah.
Like, I see what they're doing for you,
So, that's going to be
Frankie's
really cool.
so great. Oh, my gosh. And I've realized we're not even, 2 chapters through the context.
Well, so...
Because there's so much that happens in these, first 2-3 chapters with Garp.
Oh,
and
I
then
know. It's just slamming one after another after another.
They add the 5 elders, terrible news. Shanks has made direct contact with Whitebeard, a.k.a. Edward Newgate.
Which they said,
that way back
there, they
Shanks
said,
was
we can't let that happen.
Oh, Shanks was like, it's time to go see Whitebeard.
Now, so, well, that's exactly what's next right here, pretty much.
And I love Whitebeard is just, look at that dude. That dude, what intros? Like, he better have brought some good booze.
Yes. And we already know he's huge, but didn't he have wasn't he hooked up to a couple of IVs when we saw him the first time?
Yeah, and he's got an oxygen tube in.
Yeah. So the 5 elders live in the sacred land of
Marijois.
Yeah, and I wrote it, Marijois.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's spelled differently in other translations, but I think it's supposed to be pronounced Marijois.
Marijois. Okay.
Yeah.
So that would be Marijois. Okay. I looked it up.
Oh, I'm also going to let you know something real quick because it also goes the 4 emperors that they mentioned.
Yeah.
Shanks and Whitebeard and
right.
Do they name the other 2?
I don't think they named the other 2.
They show the silhouette though. They show the silhouettes.
Did
they show silhouettes, and I'm just gonna fact check myself here because I'll make sure I'm getting my things correct. And boring section that we skipped through. Where does he say? Where does he show?
Oh, the 4 silhouettes are volumes back.
No, they're right here. He's considered to be on the same level as Whitebeard. Okay, no, they do not drop the other 2 names, but they do show 2 other silhouettes.
They show 2 other faces, but,
but
they're black and white.
Yeah,
and, right,
silhouetted.
Yeah. One guy's got the smile of the Cheshire Cat. Yeah, so, cool.
They're also known as Yonkos. I believe that's Japanese for emperor.
Yonko?
So sometimes people will refer to them Yonkou. I believe.
Okay.
So you'll see very Yonko be used interchangeably with emperor.
Okay.
Probably in a lot of the comments. So heads up.
How long before Marijois gets the Enies Lobby treatment? When I read
Woof. Good question.
Okay.
Good.
I wrote
good
that.
question, but that is that question, the way you phrased that. Whoa.
Well,
whoa. Whoa.
Is there a better way to describe that?
There's a couple events later that would be used interchangeably, but yeah,
okay,
that's a great way of phrasing it.
You're talking about a full-on assault on the government and a destruction, and what does Aokiji say? That was utter defeat.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so I read that, and I read about this home of the five elders, and I just thought, they've got to go there and destroy it. Now, I don't know if they really have to, but I would think they do. Anyways, you might know. I don't know. I'm only at chapter 433. Haki power, the spirit force. Apparently there's 3 levels: observation, description, and conqueror. The book doesn't go into a ton of detail on it.
Yep. 3. So there's Haki. There's 3 types. What'd you write down?
Observation, description, and conqueror. I think these are the definitions of them.
Description. That's interesting.
Well, okay.
But I'll wait for it to get. I'll wait for later when it gets explained.
Wait for it to go, because what I did was I researched Haki power. I wanted to know if this was something culturally from Japan that was being thrown in here that I wouldn't know about, or whether this was a creation by Oda. Because I'm becoming so much aware that this is a translation not just of Japanese writing, but of culture.
Yeah.
In the whole cultural difference, which so many people point out, when they're pointing out translation problems, and they're truly, it's not criticism.
No.
It's explaining the culture behind it.
Yeah.
And to truly appreciate this,
there's a lot of details that people miss about it reading the English translation, no matter what form you get. That it's like there are people who read the Japanese who are like, okay, so I know it says this in the English, but there's not really a true direct translation. Right. It means, and this is the closest thing I can come up with.
Right.
But apparently the Japanese world of theories is completely on a different level because they natively understand inherently different kanji, different use.
Yes.
2 characters using the same text.
Yes.
Font, essentially, for how they do. Yeah, it's just...
So for the person who asked me, how would I go about teaching this if I were teaching it in college? And I told them, honestly, I have no idea. I think you would have to understand all of that.
I think you could do some character analysis, teaching character analysis.
You could.
How to read into character and different ways to develop. But
there's a lot that you could do.
There's a lot of fun we could have with that as a video concept later down the line.
Well, yeah. Just asking that question. Here's another one. Get all the content creators together and ask if, how would you do this? Anyway, so I was thinking about that. Who is the him that gave Whitebeard his scars? Does he say in that? Do we know in that?
He does not say in that. And
he does say that he went up against Roger many times.
He did say that.
Because he asked about Buggy, the red-nosed kid, right? So I got the feeling that maybe Roger gave him the scars. But, I don't even know how important that is, but it was important enough that I asked. I wrote it down. Things I want to know. Sometimes I write these things down just so that I remember them. Because if I write it down, I'll remember it.
Yep. So you're talking about this one right here. When I see your face.
It makes my scars ache. The scars I got from him. Right, with the big him. Yeah. So either they both have shared knowledge that they're not revealing yet, or the him was the biggest everyone was trying to beat, which was Roger.
Well, and he does say later on, he gives the big reveal on the very next page.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, no, you can't miss that one.
Yeah, you can't miss that one either.
Which was one of the reasons why I asked the question is that I wrote the question down rather. Is that
it's a good thing to notice.
Okay,
I'll say that.
All right,
it's a good thing to notice.
Cool. Red-haired Shanks Haki power shown without constraint, and of course, Whitebeard calls him a fool for doing it. So we already know he's powerful for staring down the sea creature, which, you know, in the live action, that was so freaking cool. That was so well done, and I think if you go back to that video, you will hear me say, how powerful is this guy that he gets to do that, right? And so this just doubles down on that question.
So you know what where the fun is?
Where?
So it's something that you wouldn't get. One area I think the anime actually excels in is I don't remember if they do it in the original episode with that part of the flashback, but whenever they revisit it, there's a sound effect a very unique sound effect that triggers when they do the close up of Shanks' eye and his pupil dilates,
right?
And that's when the sea beast turns and runs. That same sound effect plays when he walks on Whitebeard's ship and releases his Haki power.
Oh, that is so cool. So they didn't do sound in the live action, but didn't his eyes flash red?
I think they did. It might have been a very subtle one. I think they did a subtle one. I haven't seen the live action for a while.
Oh, we got to go back and check that scene.
I think they did, but essentially, so that whole thing about how powerful is this guy?
Right.
He told a sea beast to back off.
Right.
He was using his Haki.
Right.
And it's the first use of this power that we see documented in the series.
Well, it was cool.
A seed planted
for
in
later.
chapter 2.
Right.
One or two.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is.
I was waiting for you to get to this point. Makes it so much more fun.
So we find out Shanks dueled Hawkeye. It really doesn't surprise me. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Mama Peaches.
Oh yeah, you got that. Okay, now I can drop my theory finally.
Drop it.
So in classic Oda fashion, this is going to be controversial. Here's my take, because there's a massive debate in the community. Oh, it's called Fraud Hawk.
Okay.
You know, there's this big debate if Shanks is this super powerful emperor, but he uses a sword. How can Mihawk be the world's strongest swordsman, or is Mihawk more powerful than Shanks? Now, my general thought process on that is Mihawk is the world's greatest swordsman or the world's strongest swordsman, which seem to be used interchangeably. Mihawk is, at that point, one of the better swordsmen, like the best swordsman, strictly swordsman, but Shanks might have other things that give him an edge as well. I'm saying, here's my theory. Oh wait, can I even say that yet? Once they stopped dueling, the reason why Shanks and Mihawk stopped dueling, I think Mihawk got the title by default because there was no one else better than Shanks for him to fight. That's my theory. I think it would be a very Oda thing to do is it's revealed that and why Mihawk is so casual and so bored is because no one can challenge him. That's why he's so excited for Zoro. It's like the reason why they stopped fighting for the title, the reason why, I think that's the reason why. I think he got it by default.
Okay, I don't know about the getting it by default. It's very clear from the live action performance that he was bored to tears with fighting.
Yes.
It was also, the guy is taken down. What was the dude's name?
Don Krieg.
Don Krieg. They did such short shrift in the live action, but it was so good in the manga. He's answering a phone call while he's destroying Don Krieg and all of his men. You know, I was right. So you get that. He very clearly sees something in Zoro that he's like, you need to. I'm gonna hurt you. But I'm not going to kill you. You come back when you're ready.
If you can survive this, then maybe you stand a chance.
But my thing was this. If...
I know, that's a controversial hot take, what I just said.
Well, if
Oh, no, I'm expecting to get flamed for that one.
Get flamed. If Shanks either beat Mihawk or dueled Mihawk to a draw, And Zoro has to defeat Mihawk to become the world's greatest swordsman. Zoro has to fight Shanks too.
This is where the whole definition of what is a swordsman comes into play. That's really prevalent right now because there's a lot of really high-level people currently using swords. And it's like, okay, so what does this mean for the title? Because it does have an active effect on Zoro's dream. It's like, is the title all about your raw skill with the sword, or is it about your raw power and you just happen to use a sword? It's a big debate right now.
Or is it about you don't define yourself as a swordsman, but you happen to be a shit-hot swordsman anyway?
Yeah.
Right. But I don't know. That gets into a level of legalism that's
exactly. That's where the thing is right now.
Okay.
That's where the debate pretty much is. But yeah.
So Blackbeard Teach gave Shanks his facial scars. I caught that. I've always wondered where the scars. I always assumed they came from Buggy. Right.
No.
Okay. Shanks warns about Teach gunning for Whitebeard's seat. And he wants Whitebeard to stop Ace. And I'll be totally honest with you, I'm only thinly hanging on to what it is he's looking for there. So if you can elaborate on that for me, because I'm
gonna figure out what he said specifically.
Blackbeard killed one of Whitebeard's crew members. He broke an unbreakable code. Whitebeard wants revenge. He sees all of his crew members as families. It's like killing a son. And Blackbeard has to pay with his life. I get that. Mm-hmm. He's sending Shanks to do that job.
And he's saying Ace.
Or Ace, rather. Yeah. I'm sorry, not Shanks. Ace. He's sending Ace to do that job.
The one who gave me the scars, Blackbeard Teach from your crew, and I wasn't because I was careless. Do you understand what I'm saying, Whitebeard? He laid low and waited for his chance. He didn't even rise up to become a squad leader or make a name for himself. He hid himself behind the giant shadow of Whitebeard, and once he had enough power, he finally made his move. A man like that will never be satisfied. He'll keep aiming for the top with his own will. One day he will aim for your seat. Get to the point. What do you want from me? I want you to stop Ace. Fame and trust are his fame and trust are what's complicating this issue. Now is not the time to pit those two against each other. Don't go after Blackbeard Teach. That's my only request.
Right. Mm-hmm. There's something else going on there.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe it's the something else that I'm sensing that just hasn't been revealed yet.
Mm-hmm.
That's just making me go, okay, this whole thing, and of course, does either Whitebeard or Shanks know that Teach has a devil fruit power, that he is Shadow? I didn't see anything that reveals that they know. Now, the clash of swords between the two of them in the splitting of the heavens was just cool. That's great artwork.
I love Shank's crew over here, just like, oh, okay. Is it war? I love this guy, Lucky Roo, just chomping on meat.
Yep.
The other two are like,
So Teach went. I wrote. Teach goes after the Straw Hats and Ace intervenes. Apparently they missed one another on Jaya. Why did I write that?
Oh boy. They're almost in our grip. Oh, so they are so they almost, Blackbeard and his crew almost got their hands on the Straw Hats. And they imply that they're close by and they're about to go after them again. And then Ace shows up.
Right.
And now he's confronting.
But they spoke on, they met,
they did.
Luffy and Blackbeard met in a bar on Jaya.
Mm-hmm. And then afterwards, Blackbeard went after him once they got onto the sea. There was
I forgot about that.
I believe there was a thing where he saw the bounty poster and went, actually.
Oh, okay.
And then decided to go.
That's right. I do remember that. Yes.
Yeah.
Wasn't it the water spout that saved him?
Mm-hmm.
Was it? Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. But now here, they're like, all right, let's go get them. And then Ace is like, hold on. I've been looking for you.
Did Aokiji cover up the Water 7 involvement in Enies Lobby? Did he cover...
He might have.
To protect the island?
He might have.
And the whole iceberg thing of I'm going to make the island float is absolutely fantastic.
Isn't that great?
That is just so great.
Isn't that amazing?
And for the guy that I didn't trust because he looked like clutch cargo, he turned out to be a real cool character.
He's pretty good.
Yeah. There is a scene, there's a thing in here where they talk about ghost ships, and it's a little bit farther on, and they were talking about going into the troubles of getting to Fishman Island, the underwater paradise, and it's what's her name, Merwoman,
Kokoro,
who's talking about how many ships disappear, and you get this exchange.
This is the Florian. Oh, you literally were like one page
away. The Florian Triangle. Yeah.
Yep. The Florian Triangle.
Yes. The play on the Bermuda Triangle in Florida, which is actually confirmed in the notes in the book.
Yeah. That's.
But this whole exchange right here about Nami screaming no to going to the ghost ships, right? And you read this, and then Robin saying, there's great wealth on ghost ships, and it takes you down to the bottom of the page, and I knew the minute you turned the corner, there's Robin saying, let's go!
Yeah.
Great wealth on ghost ships! So the whole thing of Frankie's family asking the Straw Hats to take Frankie, it was wonderful. It kind of formulaic in the whole, he's got to go, he doesn't want to go, he's not going to go.
It's very similar to Sanji.
Actually it is. Yes, it is.
Very similar.
Right. The whole fact that Frankie's hiding from the truth of how he feels, about the guilt he's feeling, the whole bit about Robin trying to influence him.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Hysterically funny. Oh my goodness, it's funny. But what's even better is a little bit later when she says, yeah, he's crying and faking on his own. I'm not doing anything. I let him go 10 minutes ago. Notice she's still standing there providing cover for him.
Yeah.
She's kind enough to let go of the gonads, but she's still providing cover for him.
Yeah.
She's a good shipmate.
Yeah.
She's a good crewmate. She really is. And of course, maybe that's the start of there's a bond between the two of them based on their experience, or she's going to pay back just a little bit. It was really cool. I had always, well, not always said, but I've always thought, and I said it way back in Water 7, that for Usopp to return to the crew, he was going to have to accept Luffy as the captain, and he was going to have to be secondary to him. I wasn't wrong.
No, you were not.
It did not come about the way that I thought it would. But it came about.
Yeah.
And I absolutely loved the fact that Zoro, who has declared himself the first mate of the ship, even though he hasn't been he does. He says it.
Where does he say that?
I'll dig for it because I remember reading it. Whether it's an official title or not, but he is the de facto executive officer of the ship.
Because Oda did stay in SBS, and fans will point to that a lot. People will point to it a lot that Zoro is not the first mate. Oda has said there is no first mate on the Straw Hats.
Right.
But
except that in action, he's the first mate of the ship. And I do believe he says something somewhere. He doesn't... I'll go back and I'll find it.
We'll find it.
I'll dig it. Dig it out. Anyways, but the whole... It's absolutely hysterical because he's lecturing everybody that Luffy's the captain while he's treating Luffy like a rag doll. The whole grabbing the cheeks and stretching his face out and saying, this idiot is your captain and you're going to listen to him. Absolutely hysterical.
Zoro's a bro.
Right?
Zoro's a bro.
Right. He is, in that moment, the only adult in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been there long enough that he can get away with that. Where Robin, the other adult in the room, and Frankie, the other adult in the room, they haven't been there long enough to get away with that. That's one of the reasons why Zoro does get to impart that wisdom and put his foot down and get Luffy to listen to it.
Yeah.
This is the second time in this whole grand arc that he has done that.
He's like a right-hand man.
That's kind of what an executive officer is.
I know, but last title.
So,
I just know there's going to be a comment about it.
Let him. All takers. I will take it on. And look.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Because I think the big thing is that, like, if it's at sea, Nami takes control of the ship. And she directs everyone. She even directs Luffy on what to do in that sort of situation. But when it comes to land, Luffy can trust Zoro. So I think it's a flow. It's intended to be a flow. But, you know, I'm done defending it. I will say I agree. I already know what.
It's okay. I will just say this. I not only served in the Navy, I not only served on a submarine, I served in the wardroom. I wasn't an officer, but I worked in the wardroom. I spent 2.5 years watching the interactions among 14 officers and 2 different captains and 2 different executive officers, and I understand the role and the function of each. And I understand the role and the function of the navigator. And the navigator is a mid-level officer, not too junior, but that's a huge position to have on the ship.
Yep.
And yeah, the navigator does give orders as to where to go because the navigator's got the chart. The navigator knows the shipping lanes. The navigator is skilled enough that the navigator can take control of the ship if needed in any given situation. They're capable of doing that. So does the natural rank structure of a formal Navy vessel have that ebb and flow? Yes, it does. Do they have clearly defined positions where nobody oversteps their bounds? Yes, they do. So I'm looking at this through an entirely different perspective.
Yeah, I know. You're looking from it with real-world ship experience.
Right.
Saying that.
But I'm not saying this to you.
I know.
I'm saying it there. I'm just looking at you.
Yeah.
Right? You know? And so, and of course, I'm not the target audience. Always remembered, I'm not the target audience. So, but it's really cool to see that whole thing. And I've made a note down here. Koby would agree. Koby would have agreed if he were there. He would have backed Zoro's play. Sanji agrees.
Yeah.
What does Sanji have? Real world ship experience.
Well, and for Sanji to agree with Zoro,
it's huge. Yeah, that's a monumental. There should have been another cloud spitting doom.
If Sanji's agreeing with Zoro and Zoro's agreeing with Sanji, like, you know, the situation needs to be taken seriously because they're like, if they're agreeing with each other.
I got a kick out of Garp calling Aokiji a greenhorn, which happens a little bit later in that. That's hysterical.
It's also funny because Aokiji outranks Garp.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Garp casually refers to, offhandedly, dismisses Luffy as, you're just my kid's kid, and then turns around and, that's my grandson! That whole fake hiding how I feel about him. I loved on page 469 of this book that Oda gave us a chart of Navy ranks and positions and people, and that Smoker became a Commodore. Smoker got his star. You know, that's huge.
Yes.
And that also Tashigi became an ensign.
Yeah.
Liking that. Yeah. I don't know why that minor character is so cool, but I really like that character, and I'm glad we're seeing more, and I want to see more. Smoker vows to follow the Straw Hats and crush them, which is a big change from the Smoker that kind of owed him one.
He did owe him one, but he's also, it's the same. I think it's a more serious version of Koby, who's like, I'm going to become an admiral.
Yeah.
And I will stop you. Like, I will have to clash.
Right.
That means we'll have to clash, and I will have to do my job.
Yes.
Which means I will have to stop you.
Yes.
So I think it's the same, but I think it's the same mindset, just Smoker's more, like, deadpan serious about it.
Can you imagine how devastating it would be if we got to the end of this tale and Luffy did not become the king of the pirates? He got defeated?
That would be very devastating.
I
think people would want their money back.
I think the world would riot.
Yeah, he kind of has to.
I absolutely loved at the end of this the tour of previous islands, the tour of previous allies.
Yeah.
Seeing the reaction to all of the wanted posters.
Yeah, all the bounty.
The horrible drawing of Sanji, which is hysterical. The 50 berries on Chopper, which is hysterical.
It's hysterical.
Clearly, they did not know who the giant furry monster on Enies Lobby was, or that might be a little bit higher. So
they all have bounties. And a lot of bounty raises.
Oh, the Windmill Village mayor. That family has been crazy for the last 3 generations. Does Daydan know about this? That was part of all of that tour of previous enemies. And this is just a little footnote, but it's like, leave it to Oda to drop something small that gets, plant the seed and it blossoms 300 chapters later. When they get to Windmill Village, which I believe is Luffy's hometown, right?
Yes, I believe so.
So they go through Windmill Village, and the Windmill Village mayor, in reference to Luffy, says that family has been crazy for the last 3 generations, which would be Luffy, Dragon, and Garp, right? And does Daydan know about this? Who the heck is Daydan, and why should he know? Dadan, okay.
I believe.
Yeah.
Or
I mean, is it important?
Yes, I will say it's important.
Okay.
It's important.
Enough that I should have noticed it.
Yes.
Right? Of all that stuff that was going on.
That's what I will say.
Okay.
It is important.
Captain Marshall D. Teach. We got another D there. Yeah. The big reveal, the big fight, Ace and Blackbeard, and the reveal that Blackbeard's made of shadow. That was also the end of this volume, which is where I stopped. And so trading the book in with my 1,000 pages, but I'm not done with this yet.
Yeah. What do you think of the new ship?
I like it. Yeah, of course, I had seen it, so it wasn't a surprise.
But now that it's here,
I like it.
You like it?
I do. I like it.
I will say there's a bit of a transition period. You see them get on the ship and they're working. You're like, it's weird because they do it so naturally. They get on because they're excited and they got this new ship, but they have to immediately go into action. That you kind of forget that it's a new ship for a second. It's almost like they're home their entire time. At least I got that from watching the anime on the first run through, and I completely forgot that they were on a completely different ship from the Mary, and I kind of felt like that was a betrayal of the Mary for a second.
I felt that.
Where they jumped onto it, so quickly, got so comfortable on the Thousand Sunny, but at the same time, they have to. They have to.
You can't be pirates without a ship.
It's also way bigger than the Mary.
Okay, the grass deck is just like
Isn't that awesome?
Cool. I mean,
isn't that awesome? He even put the tangerine trees on the top. Yeah. Frankie's awesome.
Well, not only is Frankie awesome, but this gave Oda a chance to. We haven't seen all the capabilities of this boat.
No.
So this is like the bat belt.
Yes.
What can he pull out it? Right.
Oh, you'll love it.
Okay.
Oh, you'll love it.
But then here's the other thing. They've got Frankie. That man can do upgrades whenever
he can.
Right, which means
he can.
You know, it would be criminal to set up that potential and then never exploit it.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we're going to get from here to the end of this tale, but I know that Oda is going to keep me surprised and entertained. Mm-hmm. And here's the other thing. This is so un-Richard. I make no effort to predict what's coming.
Yeah.
I mean, there are ideas that just pop into my head, just like, this is going to happen.
Yeah.
But I make no conscious effort to try and predict what's going to take place, and I absolutely love that. This man, to a certain degree, has me bamboozled, and I like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now did I hit everything
this.
you want to talk about?
You hit a lot of it. This is a. It's just I love. There's so much that's going on. There's the introduction of the Four Emperors. There's the lore drops about Shanks.
Yes.
Shanks being a member of Gold Roger's ship, which. I'm really thinking back to our old videos because I believe you made this comment. Nope. I don't know, so I'm gonna hold off on that one.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
Hold off on that one.
But I will forget.
Yeah, I feel like I'm already towing the line a lot with this one. But we got Dragon being, confirmed, obviously, which is great. And then we get the scene from the live action where where Garp is chasing them and starts throwing the cannonballs. This is where it came from. Right. This is where it came from.
I realized that when I saw it, and you know what? My thought. What you had told me that reveal in the manga came later in the story, but you didn't tell me where. Yeah. And you didn't tell me how. And you know what the number? You know what the chap number came in my head when you told me that?
What?
800.
800.
So that when it happened in the early 400s, I was genuinely surprised. But then I had to realize, and we talked about this before, trying to match up the chapters to the number of years he's been drawing.
Yeah. He's got a conveyor belt of cannonballs.
Oh, I know.
Just ready to go. They don't need a cannon. They just need Garp. And then Usopp's apology and please take me back. Which you also predicted a little bit, like, this isn't solved. This isn't resolved. No, you were right.
He had to accept.
He had to say, I'm sorry.
Yes. Now, so this should be a moment of huge character growth for Usopp. So the question is, what are we going to see when we see the crew moving forward? And that's not going to come until after this cliffhanger. And what a great cliffhanger for the end of the volume.
Oh, yeah.
Just absolutely incredible. What? Grandpa
and Koby and... I'm glad I got to see you again, Helmeppo. Come on!
Helmeppo, that poor guy.
Yeah.
You know. Because, Helmeppo's kind of cruel because... not cruel. Cool. Because Helmeppo has seen the error of his ways, and he's trying to be better, and he's still being dismissed as much as when he was doing it the wrong way.
Yeah.
But there's some growth there.
Coup de burst.
Oh.
Coup de burst.
Coup de burst, yes.
Yep.
Should have seen it coming. I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised, but,
Aokiji raises his
that was great.
Sleep mask. His little sleep mask to see them fly off.
Yes, yeah, that was cool. When I saw that, I was just like,
oh yeah. It's so cool. They have it's this big kind of turning point. They've significantly leveled up. They got a new ship.
Yes.
They got a new crewmate.
Yes.
They got their crewmates back.
Yes. Yes.
It's the start of just where we're gonna start really chugging along. We're starting to go
right,
just on a straight.
Yeah, up.
Just so much more.
Which is amazing because this entire Water 7 Enies Lobby post Water 7 arc is just. It's a ride that's a million miles an hour. It's so good. And so that's the reason why it's risen to the top of my reading list. And yes. Yep. Flash it.
Vivi he's going to do it. Vivi saying he's going to do it. It would have been in here that you would have gotten that, I think. I'm still trying to find that one spot for you.
Oh,
here it is.
Windmill Mare?
Yeah, here it is. East Blue Windmill Village, Luffy's hometown. We're all they're all celebrating.
Yes, they are.
They're all celebrating. He's like, "Do you have no shame?"
That's right.
He's like, What is Garp doing about this? If he hadn't left his grandson alone on this island, this would never have happened. Yep. Quiet! Our village produced a wanted criminal that turned against the world.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
think you get Kaya, or
Yep.
Usopp's girl.
Yep.
That has to be the captain. Look at that.
Oh yes.
Because it's a picture of Soga King.
Right.
You know.
So, well, the nose.
Which I think is
Doesn't he?
Yeah.
This has to be the captain. Look at that nose.
Yeah.
You know.
It has to be. Even they see through it.
Yes.
You know? But I think that's part of the reason why. I think on his wanted poster it does say Soga King.
Probably.
I think on that poster it says Soga King, not
right.
Or Sniper King, not Usopp.
Right.
Which is why that joke is reinforced even further externally in the community, because the world government didn't believe it. And then you get Zoro's instructor.
Yes.
You know.
Who hasn't aged a bit.
Yeah, no. A couple extra smile lines, it looks like.
So
checking in with everyone.
They did. They did a nice. They did this nice trip down memory lane, and it was really pleasant. And it was just. It had to be fun to do. It had to be fun for Oda to draw. And then we get this.
Then you get this nice big shot of Dragon, Monkey D. Dragon, the world's worst criminal.
I love his tats.
Revolutionary.
I love it. I'm not a facial tat fan. I love his ink. Mm-hmm. That is fantastic.
And there's just another like pattern there. Garp has a big scar that goes like this. Mm-hmm. Luffy gave himself one here. Dragon has tattoos.
Right.
I'm just pointing that out because it's cool, and I don't know.
Ace has a facial scar too, does it?
No, he's got the big back tattoo. He's got the one on his arm. So he's got the one on his arm, and he's got the big one on his back, which at this point in publication was switched to the skull and crossbone design.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, him letting the bullets go through. That was so
Wasn't that so
cool. That was so cool.
Ace has so much aura when he shows up.
Yes.
Like, is the reason he's a lot of people's favorite.
Yeah, I love this, the throwing of the hotel building.
Yeah.
You know.
And he just bursts through it.
Yes.
The whole fight is really cool. No, they do say... Blackbeard says, yes, I killed Thatch, the number 4 division commander, with my own hands. I didn't have a choice. He got the devil fruit that I was searching for. According to our rules, the one who finds the devil fruit has the right to eat it. And he really wanted the
fruit. Yeah.
The fruit,
yeah.
so
but it doesn't justify the murder.
It doesn't. It just explains why he did it. Yeah. You may be fire, but I'm made of darkness.
So...
Yeah, that's such a cool...
my first thought, though.
There's so much.
My first thought, though, is fire defeats darkness. Fire defeats darkness every time.
So, this is just the section where there's so much. The scale of the world went from like, oh yeah, we're discovering little things, to what is going on.
Yeah, much bigger.
What is going on? Like you got more layers to the world government, a little bit. You got more Marines. You get the whole concept that Dragon is a revolutionary.
I love that.
He leads the revolutionary army.
Yes, I love it. I absolutely love it. And so one of the things, that I'm doing in prep for our next video, and I just pitched to Noah a next video that I think you guys are really going to like, and so we're going to put some of this in. I'm not done with this book yet because we haven't investigated all of these tabs, and that's going to be part of the next video. So for y'all who really, really, really like what we're doing with One Piece, it's not going to be a video you're going to want to listen to. It's going to be a video you're going to want to watch.
Yeah.
Just give you a heads up on that. But I'm going to go back and take a look at that page from around chapter 100 from Logtown, where I wrote the notes on that because I saw it and I was just like, oh, that was so cool.
Yep. So like back then, I think what Dragon says to Smoker is, you know who I am. And Smoker says, yeah. and I think Dragon says something along the lines of, so you know that we shouldn't do this here. You know, that sort of thing. He has that reputation that Smoker went.
And okay, so there was no way I could have appreciated that when I saw it.
And you're not supposed to know what it means. You're not supposed
now
to,
I need to go back and find it.
Now when you see it and you're like, wait a minute, that's his dad.
I know. This is getting so cool.
That's his dad. His dad came too, but it's also in the same vein of like,
this is
where's
Garp's
his dad?
son. It's not even. It's his dad that it's so big.
No,
this is Garp's son doing
the hero of the Navy's son is the world's most dangerous criminal.
Right. Yes.
And then his grandson wants to be the king of the pirates.
Yes.
Like, there's just, it's such
like Batman's son growing up to be the best criminal in Gotham. I mean, that would just,
happened. Good job. The second Robin, that's Red Hood. The scale just shot.
Yes.
Wide open. He just blew it wide open. He said, all right, here we go. And you get a power ceiling is raised with Shanks and Whitebeard.
Oh, yeah.
You get a massive... After we just saw the power ceiling of the Straw Hats rise, we're looking at this going, oh.
How's he going to get up there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It puts into perspective so much. Like, it puts into perspective Mihawk. If Shanks and Mihawks were dueling...
Yes. Okay.
Then you knew Zoro stood no chance.
Speaking of power levels... Oh, yeah, now you know.
Yeah.
But speaking of power levels, what we saw of level 3 cannot be all of level 3. There's got to be more.
Oh, I didn't say that.
Level 3 has got to expand before he goes to 4 and 5.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm thinking.
What if he combines Gear 2 and Gear 3?
It would be Gear 2.5, because you would add the two together and divide by 2.
A jet giant pistol. It'd just be combining two techniques into one. Anyway.
I'll be waiting to see how that plays out.
Yeah.
I thought, when I read Gear 3, I thought, this is underdeveloped. I need to see more. That's all I'll say on it. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before.
Yeah, Chopper getting the 50 berry.
That's hysterical.
It's so funny. It's so funny. And there is a reason for it. And actually, not too long, I will be able to show you the reason for it. It was actually a request.
Oh, okay.
There's a animation that came out recently.
Was it in one of the spoiler things that I don't read?
I don't know if there was a spoiler on it, because it was talking about, so there's an animation that came out recently, but it's canonically it takes place. So it came out, it was an anime episode that came out I think last year or early this year. Mm-hmm. And it's called One Piece Fan Letter. And it was made by, it's an original, it wasn't like, I think Oda might have given the okay on it, but I don't think he had any part in writing it. And it's beautiful. It's gorgeous animation. Kind of tugs at you a little bit too, because it's fucking One Piece. And it takes place obviously not in where the anime currently is, but it's set back. You're not far from where it is set. I'll put it that way. You're not far from where it is set in the grand scheme of things. So, yeah, woof. So we'll probably watch that. I'll probably show that to you.
Okay. And
it's pretty fun.
We have to look at the trailer for season 2, which I still haven't seen.
Yeah, we need to look at the trailer.
Yeah,
for season.
we have to do that. I scrupulously avoid a lot.
Yeah, you know? But I mean, you kind of know what's coming because you're past that point in the manga. You're past that point in the manga, so it's more like, let's see how this is going to look.
Right.
That's what a trailer is for us at this point. Yeah. Just, woof, so much. so much.
So this is...
We get more about Whitebeard.
Yeah, I believe that.
We get a little more about Roger.
Okay.
You know, a ship made out of this legendary
wood.
You know, more parallels. And then you get Shanks was on his crew. Whitebeard fought him. Garp fought him.
Right. Buggy was on his crew.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
That was stated. You did get that.
What,
cool.
the Buggy was on his crew?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier.
Okay, cool. I didn't catch that.
Yeah,
okay, that's what I was trying to avoid saying because I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember if Buggy said he was on a crew with Shanks. Oh wait, he does. No.
Whitebeard says, "Who was that red-nosed kid?"
Yeah,
and Shanks says, "Oh, Buggy."
Buggy gets his. We see Buggy eat his fruit. Way back when he eats the chop chop fruit, do we see that?
We haven't seen that.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. Well, okay, if we've seen it. I
feel
don't
like
remember.
I feel like we did.
Where would we have seen that?
Oh no, because he says, "I remember that hat" when he's talking to Luffy.
Yes.
Is that Shanks's hat? You know, or something along those lines?
Because well, in the live action, it's because once he figures out that connection, that's how he's able to get Luffy's goat enough to start to react.
Okay, so we did know that. So Buggy was a member of Gold Roger's crew.
Yeah.
Which kind of puts Buggy in a whole new perspective.
Well, yes and no. He was a junior member of the crew. I don't think that either one of them were on Roger's ship long enough to really rise through the ranks. And was it Whitebeard or Shanks that says it fell apart pretty quickly after that? Because it was right after Roger is captured that Shanks says, "Come with me to Buggy," and Buggy says, "I'm not going to be a member of your crew." But they were junior in the crew, and
they were teenagers, I think.
Yeah, that was like a 1-2, punch right in there. But, but Buggy's so much fun in the live action. Yeah. Oh my goodness, he is such a hoot. He is so well performed that I want to see more of him just because that actor did such an incredible job.
Oh yeah.
Knowing the story, I don't know how they really can, but holy cow, he was fun.
Buggy gets more.
He's worth going back and watching season 1 just to watch that performance. Yeah, that's how good it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, he's going to be in the probably the first episode because that's Logtown, and Buggy was there for Logtown.
Oh yeah, okay.
He's the one who locks Luffy onto the pedestal.
Right.
More symbolism, yay! So, but 10 chapters. I think we've stretched that for what it's worth.
Well, I didn't mean to stretch it as much as our regular ebb and flow of conversations.
Ebb and flow of post Enies. Enies Lobby, post Water 7. I can't wait for more. I can't wait to get even further because the Sunny grows on you. The Sunny.
Okay.
And then I'm going to show you this now.
All right.
I'm going to show you this. This is fan art that I will splash. It's super cute. So, Mary and Sunny. There it is.
Oh, that is cute.
Isn't that adorable?
That is cute.
Isn't that adorable?
Yeah, and I get it. If you've read it, you get it.
If you get there.
If you read it, you get it.
It's adorable.
Yes.
It's so cute. So
that kudos to whoever came up with that one. That was nicely done.
It's adorable. So
it's time for your thoughts. It's y'all are great. Your comments are great. The conversations are great. The meeting people around the world is just absolutely fantastic. I won't stop saying it.
Really just wanted to get your...
Love the fact that this community allows me to interact with so many people that I otherwise would never meet and get to know. And everybody's been fantastic. Even the cranky people.
So thank you so much for watching this episode of Pork Chops, Rice, and Peaches.
We'll see you next time.